So what's all the fuss about? United Kingdom post-COVID-19. Right now, almost half of the world's 7.8 billion inhabitants are locked down. Laws are being created to enforce the lockdown. On the surface, these laws, although heavy-handed, seem reasonable due to the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. However, there is historical precedent that laws created during major crises have not been given up or rescinded after the crisis has abated. What would the world look like as we hurtle into the future? There have been some interesting technological developments prior to the crisis, and purely from a convenient point of view, they are great. However, coupled with legislation around the world, due in no small part to COVID-19, what legacy are we leaving our children and grandchildren? The insidious technological creep into our everyday lives has not gone unnoticed, but we seem to acclimate quickly and no longer see the dangers posed by big data. We may soon be living in a world where it's not just corporations watching our every move, but governments too. There seems to be a lot of confusion surrounding the 5G rollout, and conspiracy theorists have made a leap into the absurd, with tenuous links to COVID-19. So if you'd like to remove your tinfoil hat, we can proceed. Two factors with regards to 5G are potentially dangerous, especially in relation to our freedom. 1. Bandwidth. 2. Close to zero latency. Bandwidth is the quantity of bits and bytes that can be exchanged between devices over the airwaves. 5G is magnitudes greater than 4G. This extra bandwidth is not there so you can download a Netflix movie in seconds. The bandwidth is needed for all the new devices that can now be connected. Even your fridge and toaster will be connected, uploading your energy use and consumption data for analysis. You could be penalised through taxes if your consumption is deemed too high. This is a double-edged sword. We need a new social contract and willingly do the right thing and not be forced via penalties. Latency is the time it takes for Google to return your search results. Today, the time for your search result to go to Google and be returned to your phone is measured in milliseconds and seems nearly instant. 5G will seem instantaneous, imperceptible to you. You hit the enter key and there's your result. So what's all the fuss about? 5G will enable governments, corporations, NGOs and hackers to see a real-time view of your life. Once the 5G rollout has been completed, Silicon Valley will soon fill the vacuum created. There's a well-known technology called RFID, which is radio frequency identification. These smaller than a grain of rice transmitters which get activated when subject to an induction field or EMF. Charging up the induction coil enough to emit a radio wave which contains an identification number. This is the same technology used in security tags and contactless payments. We are moving towards a post-cash world where only digital payments are allowed. Most of us are cashless already, but we keep small change for parking and convenience. The acceleration of the cashless world will be exacerbated by the COVID-19 crisis, as cash will be one of the reasons why the virus spread, especially in less technologically advanced cultures. With cash gone and every device and purchase sporting a shiny covert spy in the form of a tiny RFID chip coupled with your smartphone or smartwatch, we will find the world changing faster than anyone could reasonably expect. We all know our world is being automated, but it can't happen until 5G is rolled out. Take cars for example. There will be an overlap with self-driving cars and human-driven cars. During this overlap, the zero latency afforded by the artificial intelligent automobiles will be essential, communicating in real time the road conditions ahead, behind, and in the streets nearby. This is how AI will be able to anticipate better than a human driver. The economy. Many small and medium-sized businesses will no longer be trading after the lockdowns are lifted. Taxpayers will be saddled with huge, never-before-seen wartime debt. Without a reconfiguration of the economic system, many will face destitution, with all the delights of suicide, domestic and social violence. One of the solutions could be a universal basic income, which pre-COVID sounded like a favourable outcome, as it would be implemented to remove the day-to-day stress of paying essential bills. However, post-COVID, the world won't be the same as pre-COVID. With small to medium-sized businesses in tatters, we will rely solely on UBI and may not have the ability to top it up with a salary. If a system like the CCP's social credit system is rolled out in the UK, where individuals can be publicly shamed and have their liberties taken away based upon their social score, Chinese people have already had travel bans, been unable to get loans due to their score being too low, and penalised for smoking in the wrong place, jaywalking, speaking unfavourably about the ruling elite, and being late with your taxes. Coupled with UBI, you have a recipe for total dominance and control. Don't behave, lose your income and your freedom, without the need for any bars. As COVID rips through the world's population, there is talk about a need for an immunisation passport. If everyone is required to carry an immunisation passport, which could be carried in a subdermal RFID chip similar to those embedded into our pets, the chip can be connected to all of our movements, insurance, bank accounts, passport and DNA sequence. We run the risk of being abused in ways that would make George Orwell shudder. This could be justified by the COVID crisis we're experiencing now. People who trade liberty for security deserve neither. Benjamin Franklin. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The environment. One side effect of COVID is the dramatic effect our inactivity has had on the environment. Clear, clean skies in major cities all around the world, rivers and canals are clear, and it would be hard to say we need to return to business as usual. We may be approaching an extremely challenging time. However, we have the means to come out of this as a transformed species, one that can no longer sit back and watch corporations dismantle nature and pollute. Mother Nature does not need saving. She's been around since the Big Bang and will be here long after we have gone. Systems need to be built that can balance liberty and the health of our habitat. We can ill afford business as usual. COVID has forced our hand. We will be changed after this. The question is, what kind of change are we willing to accept?